Hello and welcome to another Tilehurst End video with myself, Marc, assistant editor of the Tilehurst End. We had Dan's little kind of post-match breakdown yesterday of the game where Reading beat Leeds United 1-0. I'm going to take you into a few more of the details from the game, picked out a few little incidents that I liked and run you over them with some graphics. We'll have the little bits of the YouTube videos to go through. As I said last time in the Tilehurst End videos, they're kind of a work in progress, so bear with us as we try and get all the technical details sorted out. So of course, there is only one place to start. Reading playing Blackburn on Tuesday night, but beforehand it was the Saturday evening kick-off on Sky Sports. Reading won, Leeds 0, Jan Kermorgant with the goal. And one of the things I noticed was the differing approaches between the teams in the first half was really quite key to how the game panned out. Let's just have a little look at this screenshot here of how Leeds attacked. Now, Leeds attacking here is a pretty standard example of when a team comes to an away game, they've got their 4-4-2 set out, they're going to have overlapping wingers, big man in the middle, Chris Wood. So it's a pretty expected approach, and Reading dealt with it relatively well. You've got the three men in midfield there. You've also got the tracking winger coming back as well, which is quite important, as you can see there. Wood's ready in the middle. That chance does come to Alfonso Pedraza at the end, he shoots wide. But it's a typical sense of just knowing how Leeds set up. Didn't try and do too much, I would say. And let's contrast that with Reading. As we see here, this is kind of all over the place from Reading as you immediately look at it. Out wide, you've got Jordan Obita, Roy Behrens is providing a kind of run through the middle, and then we've got Liam Kelly quite deep on the ball, with the defenders sort of out of shot, with Jan Kermorgant coming very deep here, and two other central midfielders from Reading's 4-3-3 here. Now, if we kind of run this on a little bit, you can see that Obita's providing a nice option out wide, which means that the right back can't leave his position and is kind of monitoring Roy Behrens at the same time. So it's the winger Sacco who has to come and deal with Liam Kelly on the ball. Kermorgant is completely unpicked up because it's a very flat four-man midfield that Leeds have set out, so they're not quite capable of sending a man to deal with it. No one's coming out from the defence, and as we see, we'll run this on in full now. Behrens and Kermorgant combine very well, and the ball goes just wide from Roy Behrens. So there was a really nice way of looking at Reading there, is that because the fullbacks pushed on so much in the 4-3-3, and because the wingers were so tight and the Kermorgant came in deep, the kind of basic approach, in a sense, not to be derogatory to go amongst approach, but a basic 4-4-2 comes in, and it just isn't capable of dealing with Reading altogether. Another factor that I just want to pick up here on Leeds here is the loss of possession, the times when the play broke down. Now, this is pretty consistent, no massive over the 90-minute fluctuations in when this happened, but as you can see here, a lot of the Leeds plays breaking down on the wings in Reading's half. That's because they just couldn't seem to put the passes together. There wasn't that fluidity, certainly compared to Reading, who outpassed them as you'd expect, but only by a pretty standard amount, nothing over the top. And Leeds passing just wasn't the type of thing that, it was obviously not as bad as this usually, it's obviously not how they set up, just couldn't put it together on the day. And symptomatic of this as well is the clearances, which you can see here. Reading made 51 clearances to the 17 of Leeds over the game, most of those in the second half, but showed that Reading knew when to get rid of the ball. The fouls graphic as well shows a little bit as to how Reading were also more willing to just put the dirty tackle in. Certainly remember one from John Swift in the second half to close down a counter-attack. And these things here, it's just those little ways of winning the game. It's just those little ways of bringing forward the ball towards the opposition's goal, getting it away from yourself. Especially in the second half, Leeds pushed far more forward, and Reading played pretty much entirely on the counter-attack, with a couple of chances that they should have put away to make it 2-0. But as I say, all these graphics just kind of build up to show a picture of how Reading approach the game. Will they play like that against Blackburn on Tuesday night? That is a good question, because I don't think they will, quite frankly. It's a very different game against Blackburn. They've caused some problems recently, of course, Brighton on the weekend and Fulham away, so they're not a pushover under Tony Mowbray, and really we will have to see how that one builds out, but one would expect Blackburn to come in, sit and hope for the best. That's all from me. Quick little thank to YouTube Reading FC for having the clip, and also Who Scored provide the graphics there, as you no doubt saw from the watermark. I'm Marc, we'll hopefully be back with a video soon enough.